Okay, hello everyone. Mike Caccioppoli here. First of all, it was great to actually vote for Bernie today, finally. I couldn't wait till June 7th, so I had to go on the first day of early voting, which was today here in California. In San Francisco, I went to City Hall. It was quick and easy. I think I was the only one there, in and out, quick. And It was fun, and it was great to get that off my chest. And now I voted for Bernie. Probably one of the first votes here in California. We need everyone to get out there. Early voting goes on until Election Day. You got 4 weeks of early voting here. So if you're in San Francisco, you can go to City Hall, and if you're in any other place, you can check and find out where you have to go. But every city has an early voting place. So every county. So vote early here in California, and let's get a big win for Bernie. Also, Bernie's on the top of the ballot here. He's number one. He won some kind of a toss or whatever lottery, and he's number one. Hillary's actually fourth. There are actually two people in between them. So Bernie's in the top of the ticket here, which is good timing. This is where we need him to be, on top of the ticket. A few other things. Look, Hillary has now gone all the way to the right. She thinks she has the nomination, although there might be some concern because she said she wasn't going to put any money into any of these upcoming states, and now she is putting money in. But the problem is she's putting Bush and Cruz money in. She's going after the donors of Jeb Bush and Ted Cruz now. So now she's not even pretending to be a progressive anymore. That was just a game that she played. The same way Donald Trump fooled the Republican primary voters into thinking he was some extreme crazy right-winger just to get their votes. He did, and Hillary pretended to be progressive to get the votes of the Democrats, and she did. So now you're seeing Trump sound much more reasonable. I believe this is the real Donald Trump, because this is the Donald Trump that I've always heard, being a New Yorker for decades, until a year ago when he started running for the Republican nomination. And Hillary, who I've been saying all along, is actually what you really have is a moderate Republican, Hillary, running as Democrat, and a moderate Democrat, Trump, running as a Republican. That's what you have. That's the kind of games people play in order to get elected. But Hillary's not pretending anymore. She doesn't care about Bernie voters. They don't count. She wants money from Jeb Bush's donors and Ted Cruz's donors. And I know you Hillary bots, who she can do no wrong, say, well, that's the game they have to play. They're afraid of Trump, so they want her. They know she's better than Trump. And that's been her whole platform since day one. Her whole platform since day one has been, Trump's the boogeyman. I'm not the boogeyman, so vote for me. That's her qualification. That's her platform. There's no thread of platform there with issues. It's all about, I'm not Trump. I'm the anti-Trump. She's an empty pantsuit, yellow, green, whatever she wants to wear. That's just no platform, no issues. It's all about, I'm experienced and better than Trump. That's it. That's what you got. But now she's taking money from Cruz and Bush's donors, and of course, they're not giving it out of the kindness of their heart. They're giving it because, let me tell you why they're really giving it. They're not giving it because they're afraid of Trump. They're giving it because Trump doesn't want their money. As you can see, he doesn't, like Bernie, he doesn't need the establishment money. He doesn't need big money. Bernie has gotten it from us. Trump has gotten free press. That's it. So they know they can't support Trump. These people, Bush's and Cruz's donors, can't support Donald Trump. He doesn't want their money, and he's not going to give them shit if he wins. They know that. So they need to find some place where they can buy influence. And where can they buy influence? With Hillary Rodham Clinton, and they know it. Bush and Cruz donors. These are moderate right to extreme. You could say Bush is moderate right, and Cruz is extreme lunatic right, and they're all giving money to her now because they know they can buy influence if she wins with her. Can't buy influence with Trump, can't buy influence with Bernie, but they can buy influence with Hillary. That's why they're giving money, and she's accepting it. It's not like she says, I don't want it. If she had any principle, she'd say, no, I don't want that money because I don't want to be beholden to you crazy right-wingers if I get into office. But she's a crazy right-winger anyway, so it doesn't matter. So she can take it. So that's where we're at. Barney Frank and Eddie Boy Rendell out of Pennsylvania Barney Frank's been denigrating Bernie and his supporters for a long time now. Establishment shill who now works for banks, so he knows where his bread is buttered. But Eddie Rendell has now said that Bernie supporters better behave themselves at the convention. They better behave. When he loses, they better behave. So now he's telling us we have to behave, even though he works for us. That's what these guys like Barney Frank and Rendell don't get. They work for us, you see. If we don't want to behave, we won't behave, and we'll kick him out of office. Well, Barney Frank's already gone. I mean, these are dinosaurs, these people. Who cares about Barney Frank and Eddie Rendell? What are they? They're from the 70s and 80s. They don't even fucking count anymore. Who cares? But anyway, You know, Eddie Rendell wants us to behave at the convention. He's telling you to behave, obey and behave, obey and behave. So I'm hoping you do just the opposite at that convention. That's what he doesn't seem to understand that. He doesn't seem to understand that look, let me tell you what Bernie did today. This morning, okay, Monday morning, he was in Atlantic City. Okay, Atlantic City doing a rally on the boardwalk. Then he went to New York City to do a little gig on the Stephen Colbert show. Went from Atlantic City in the morning to New York City. Probably Colbert Parade tapes in the early afternoon, or at least did this little skit for him in the early afternoon. Then he flew cross country to have a rally right here, about 90 miles away in Sacramento. And then tomorrow morning he'll be in Stockton. This is what a 74-year-old man did in one day. Atlantic City, New York City, Sacramento, California. One day. One day. Now I ask you, do you think, and this is what he's been doing almost on a daily basis, do you think he's doing all this so the DNC can fuck him over and he can just quit? Do you think that's his plan? I'm going to do all this work at 74 years old just to get fucked over by Eddie Rendell and Bonnie Frank and say goodbye, I quit? Do you really think he's going to do that? Now I know what you're going to say. Yeah, but he's been saying that he's not going to run third party. That's such bullshit, people. Come on. When has a candidate who's running for the nomination of that party ever said, but if I don't get it, I'm going to run third party? Never. In the history of my life, history of politics, no one's ever done that. You can't do that. As you're actively running for one party, you can't say, hey, but if I don't get it, nah. Who says that? Of course he's going to say he's not going to run. But what he also has not said very clearly is he hasn't said he'll support Hillary Clinton if he doesn't get the nomination. Now, most of the time, these candidates do that. They say, oh, of course, if I don't get it, I'm going to... He hasn't said that. He hasn't said he's going to support her. He hasn't said he's going to ask his people to support her. There's a reason for that. There's a reason why he's saying if he doesn't get the nomination, he'll still do whatever he has to make sure Trump doesn't win. He hasn't said what that means. What that means is he'll run third party and he'll win because Hillary polls so poorly against Trump. Both of their negatives are negative 30 and negative 20. And no one with a negative approval, I'll say it a million times, nobody in the history of politics, in the history of approval ratings since they started having them decades ago, has ever won the White House with a negative approval. And I'm talking negative single digits, not just negative double digits like Hillary and Trump. This is the math that Democrats don't seem to be getting. Hillary and Trump have huge negatives. They're hated. They're despised by independents. They're despised by most people in their parties. They're despised by people in the opposite parties. Bernie's got a positive approval rating. Independents love him. A good chunk of Democrats love him. Republicans say they'd vote for him. The science, the math. See, this whole math thing, the science thing, is usually something Republicans don't get with climate change. They don't care about the math and the science. Now all of a sudden Democrats are acting like Republicans. They don't seem to understand math and science. And all the numbers say that Bernie would win as an independent. He'd win easily. Trump and Clinton would be fighting the whole time, tearing each other apart. Bernie would be up here, looking like a saint, not having to do a thing, but do his usual things of rallies and getting his message out while Trump and Clinton tear each other apart. And that's the way the debates would be. Remember, there'd be three-way debates here, with Trump and Clinton tearing each other apart and Bernie looking way above the fray. His positive approval rating will go from positive 10 to positive 20. Their negatives will continue to slip and slide. You see, that's the way it's going to work. If Democrats don't do what's best in their own interest in July and hand him the nomination. They can win with him or lose with Hillary. Those are their two choices. Win the presidency with Bernie Sanders or lose with Hillary. That's their two choices. It's quite obvious. Quite obvious. Bernie's not flying 17 different places in one day at 74 years old. So Eddie Rendell and Bonnie Frank can say thanks but no thanks, up yours, and Bernie can say, oh, I tried, I quit, I'm quitting. Even though I have a 99% chance of winning as a third party, I'm not going to do that. Why? Who is he beholden to? Us. The people who've given him money. People who've gone to his supporters. We want that. He's only beholden to us. He's not beholden to Eddie Rendell and Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Bonnie Frank. He's only been in their party for a year. He's not beholden to them, especially if they fuck him over. He owes them nothing. He owes them nothing. The only thing he might not do, And I'm not even sure he wouldn't even do this because they deserve it. If he knew that he could only hurt Hillary and he couldn't win, he might not run. But that's not the case. He knows. All the numbers say he could and would win. So why wouldn't he do it? He wants to be president. That's the point of this. He wants to win. I mean, he wants to win. He's not doing all this for his health at 74 years old. So yes, I'm totally on board with winning as many states, delegates coming up. I'm all in with the fight at the convention. But everything the Democrats are showing us is that they're not going to give him a fair shake. They want to have 47 to 50 of Hillary's people on the committees. 47 to 50, even though he's got 45% of the delegates so far. Does that add up? No. So all these things add up to, I think we're going to have to go all the way in November, regardless of if it's, nominee of a Democratic Party or representing a different party. So I think you just have to keep your eye on the prize, which is the White House, not the Democratic nomination. Hey, who cares how you get there? Who cares how you get somewhere? If you take what road you take, as long as you get there. That's the only point. That's the point here. You take the scenic route. Here in California, they talk about the scenic route down the Interstate 1 there. Takes longer, but you get there, or you can take the bland highways and inland and still get there. Either way, you get to the destination. It doesn't really matter. So I think we all have to realize that Bernie holds all the cards. We hold all the cards. That's it. We hold all the cards here. And the DNC knows that. My guess is that they feel, and here's another thing. Another reason why someone often doesn't run as third party is they can't raise money without the party machinery. Man, well, Bernie has proven he don't need the party machinery to raise money. They haven't given him guts. We would continue to give him money, just like we have. In fact, we give him more money because this is the general election now. This is like the championship. This is the World Series, the Super Bowl, the Stanley Cup Finals. You get more money. He doesn't need the party machinery to make money. You see, everything, all the math, all the numbers line up in his favor. But the DNC they're so arrogant. These people. They're not going to, even though they might behind closed doors know this, in public they're going to put on this face like they're in control, they got it all, they hold all the cards. Bernie knows better. His campaign advisors, Tad Devine and Jeff Weaver, these are heavyweight guys. They know better. They know what the deal is. So, I mean, logic would say the Democrats will come to their senses at that convention and he'll win. But, like I said, look, the people we're dealing with, Schultz and Rendell and Frank, if the old, and I'm talking old dinosaurs get their way, they're going to fuck the party over, which is fine. That'll be the end of the Democratic Party. It'll be the end of the Democratic and Republican Party in November when Bernie kills both of them. It's fine with me. I don't care. Should be fine with you, too. So anyway, it was a great day. Voted for Bernie. That felt good. I feel like this monkey's off my back. It's been months and months and months through all these primaries waiting for my turn. Get out there, California. Get out there. This would be very big going into that convention if Bernie can win it and win it big. Get out there and vote for Bernie. Top of the ballot. First name, Bernie Sanders. Thanks for listening. This has been Mike Caccioppoli. I'll speak to you soon.